From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of afternoons LA with a huge week upon us. Student loan debt forgiveness heated up yesterday, unemployment heats up today, and J-Pow heats up tomorrow. We'll go over the earnings recession and the earnings numbers that came in today, and what were they? Number of new reports coming in from Peloton and Dollar Tree, Nvidia, Salesforce, and Snowflake today. What were those numbers on the earnings? Oh boy, we'll be looking at the latest details across the board. Plus, you knew what today was. The new jobless claims numbers. Did they surge or did they go down? We had tracked from 140 to 260 recent weeks, but what was today? I'll go over the latest details today's recording. Plus, your benefits are going up a lot. Do we have a new inflationary data this week? We do. We'll go over the latest details on that money as well. But the big news, of course, heating up on this channel in the last 24 hours is 2 new stimulus checks. 2 on top of the 7 that became a law 1 week ago, and on top of the 3 that became law in the month of March. We are now with 12 categories, repeat, categories of stimulus checks in every U.S. state by the federal government. Approximately 100 to 200 checks for you to get in 12 categories. Single individual, 75,000 less, you qualify. Married couple, 150,000 less, you qualify. Over 100,000, some viewers getting close to 200,000, you can get this money. And we'll show you in this recording. Go into this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Powercast, VIP. Get that newsletter, go down the newsletter, and apply for those incredible checks. And we'll go over that in the big second half. Plus, we'll be looking at what J-Pow is likely to see tomorrow. And also, we have a major economist speaking about this economy and this recession. Do I agree with his comments? No, I don't. I'll have the latest details on what he said across the board. Become a member because today we have a lot of checks to go over. More checks than no less than 48 hours ago. 100 to 200 checks over 12 categories, expanding from just 3 just a week ago. It's a big night and it's a big broadcast from the shores of Santa Monica, California. A lot going on in tonight's recording. Your economy, your recession, your inflation, your benefit raise, your housing market, and your unemployment, and of course, your stimulus. The latest details from the shores of Santa Monica, California heat up right now on a big afternoon's broadcast of LALATE. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day for August 25th, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. I hope you're having a beautiful day. 2 new checks became law in the last 48 hours, bringing us to now 12 categories of 4 stimulus checks. Categories, not checks, but categories. Over 100 to 200 checks. We'll go over the latest details across the board in today's recording from the beautiful shores of Santa Monica, California. Unemployment claims were released this morning. Did we go higher? Did we go lower? Then we have the latest details on what J-Pow is going to say tomorrow, the head of the Federal Reserve, big conference in Jackson Hole. All the latest details on what you need to know. And then we'll be turning to your benefit raises and how much more are they going to go up. Plus, we'll be looking at the latest details on that housing market that really softened dramatically in the last 30 days. The data that came in yesterday is shocking. Well, the latest details across the board in today's recording, but boy, it's a big broadcast. And we're going to start first with the earnings numbers that came in minutes ago. More companies really guiding downward for the rest of this year. This is important for you, and it follows after Twitter, Alphabet, Microsoft, Chipotle, and others missed in earnings over the last few weeks. Yesterday, we had Nordstrom miss, the day before Macy's beat. So it's been a very difficult market to really predict. Target missing this week, Walmart beating. High-end Tapestry, which owns Kate Spade and also Coach, beating. And then also at the same breath, the shocker of Estee Lauder missing. So it's been a very hard market to predict. Dollar Tree, discount, cheap, easy to buy, Dollar Tree. It's sort of obvious. Do you think they beat or do you think they missed today? Because it's dollar, it's a tree. They missed. Well, actually, they cut. They cut their full-year earnings forecast. Oh boy. So a lot of companies are out of their earnings reporting for the second quarter, and now they're giving guidance for the end of this year. This is what we said was very important for this channel. It's very important that you see this guidance for the rest of this year, beating, downward guiding, and dollar tree downward guided for the rest of this year. Do you think there's dollar lobster? Do you think there's shorts lobster? Downward guided for the rest of this year, and that's why the stock was down 6.6%. Peloton was up yesterday when announcing a deal with Amazon. Why am I getting so close to the camera? It's like, I'm trying to do the Peloton. Peloton, let's get really close to the camera. No, I am not on a Peloton while broadcasting. Doubled 17.5% pre-market trading as it missed on top and bottom revenue and net profits. Abercrombie and Finch, who used to be that wonderful brand. Well, it's still a wonderful brand. I used to buy there a lot. I really liked it. Now I don't shop there anymore. Down 10.5%, miss on revenue really bad and cut full year forecasts. So maybe it's because I'm not shopping there anymore. Dollar General. So we had Dollar Tree, Dollar General. So this is a dollar and this is a general. I'm making this very obvious for you today. Do you think it beat or do you think it missed? Because Dollar Tree, when it's a tree, missed. Well, what if it's general? It beat. It beat better than expected quarterly or earnings, and the stock has been up in pre-market trading. So there you go. Dollar Tree missing, Dollar General beating. Dollar Lobster, we don't know. I'll have to check those earnings reports tomorrow. Salesforce down 6.3%, and it cut full year's guidance across the board. So it's not as forceful in those earnings as predicted. Nvidia fell 3.6% in pre-market trading, missed on top and bottom revenue and earnings. And Autodesk surged 9.2% in pre-market trading. It's on autopilot to go higher. Snowflake is actually not flaking at all. It's up 19% in pre-market trading. The reaction to Snowflake is that it's a very cheap stock. That came from Canaccord Genuity. Said it's an excellent quarter, and their shares are not cheap. I misstated that. Are not cheap, but there's a category leading company that's far faster than almost anything across the board. Wow, incredible news left and right. Of course, the major story yesterday was twofold. One, 2 new stimulus checks. That's, of course, the major story on this channel. And the other story somewhere else was that student loan debt forgiveness was announced by the President of the United States. 2 new stimulus checks became law and were announced on this channel last night across this broadcast, August 24th. For all the newsletters since August 24th, they are now in the newsletters. That means not 2 checks, but 2 new categories of checks. Check L and Check M. L for lots and M for money. It follows after a week ago when 7 new categories of checks were announced as part of a bill passed by Congress. So that is 7 plus 2 on top of the 3, now 12 categories of checks from the President of the United States and Congress in just a few weeks. Wow, incredible, great news. We're going to go over all these incredible checks across the board later in this recording. Tomorrow, Friday, Jay Powell will be speaking at the Jackson Hole Conference. He's head of the Federal Reserve, and he's going to give you guidance on what he's going to do. We'll go over those comments in just a second. But we started today with those unemployment claims. Where do you think they went? They had surged from 140 in April to a whopping 200 just a few days later. I said they were going to go to 230. They did. I said they were going to go to 260. They did. Then I said they were going to go to 265. I was wrong. They went down to 250 last week. For this week, I said, I really don't want to predict this one because I think I'm going to get it wrong. And thank God I didn't predict it because I would have really gotten this wrong. Do you think it went higher? Do you think it went lower? If you know the answer already because you watched the earlier broadcast, do not post in the comments. But let me tell you what the number was. First, this week, it's confusing because they revised last week, and then they announced this week, and this week was, let me see if I say this right. Last week they revised And they revised it down from 250 to 243. So hopefully I'm saying that right. So last week we thought was 250. They revised last week down today from 250 to 243. So last week was really much lower than even we thought. So what was today? Was today 250? Was it 243, which now last week was? No, it was 245. So it went up from last week, as we now understand it today, but it was down compared to what we thought last week was yesterday. That's really easy to follow, isn't it? Yeah. So last week was originally 250, now it's 243, and this week that it was announced is 245. When I say this week, I mean it's the week prior. Oh, I made that hideously complicated, didn't I? Jobless claims went up. Jobless claims went up, but they're not at 260. I'll say this a little bit clearer on evenings across the board. When we're talking about jobless claims, they were released a week later. So it's really hard to, you got to get your verb tense right. The data today is not today, it's last week, and then they revised the prior week. Yeah, you got it across the board. How about those benefit raises? Those benefit raises are absolutely incredible. Your benefit raises are going up, and we're going to be tracking inflationary data all this month on this channel, all this week. And the inflationary data so far has indicated inflation is not cooled. Inflation's top line number, lead number, of course, is the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, what you pay for the products in the stores. Another number is the Producer Price Index, what the wholesaler price for products in the stores. And the last number, of course, is the retail sales. There's other numbers we can use, like the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, the PCE, being released in within days, and the housing data. How much are benefits going up? A lot. Lifetime? Absolutely. And let's go over why this is important, and then we'll go over the calculation right after that. Your benefits are going up. Lifetime stimulus. Just so exciting. Lifetime stimulus. Why? Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. If they go up this year, they stay up across the board lifetime. And the range you're going to get is absolutely happening. It's guaranteed because it's in the law. The question is how much they're going to go up. We're going to go over the equation starting right now with understanding the overview of it, and then we'll go into the specifics of the number. Your benefits are going up. Some of you will see 5,000, some of you will see less, some of you see more. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. What's at issue? At issue is 3 months of data, July, August, and September, which then brings us back into the core of the discussion, inflation. We're looking at inflation, and back on July 13th, the CPI beat, went higher than expected. The PPI beat, and the retail sales went higher. Then we understood that we need to really track this inflation. In the month of May, that CPI was too high. Great news for you, but too high for an economy. 8.6% was the inflation in the month of May. What happened in the month of June went even higher. Let's recap. May came in at a whopping 8.6%. June came even higher, 9.1%. Huge, great news if you're on benefits because your benefits are going up. Now, we understood we had to see the number for the month of July, released August 10th. And we wanted that number to basically stay about the same or higher. So what happened with that CPI that was released last week? The PPI and the retail sales. First, the retail sales number was flat, good. The PPI was flat, good. And the CPI, it's generally flat. It was a 0.5 percentage point down, but that's mainly perceived as flat. 8.5%, it's generally flat. The component parts were up month to month. They are salaries. They are rent, which is 30% of the consumer price index. They are milk and eggs. If you see milk and eggs going higher, if you see the landlord charging still about the same, salary is about the same, post in the live chat. I like to see your comments across the board. And so that number was exactly where we want it to be. We need to see 2 more months of this data. We need to see August next month, release September 10th. September, released October 10th. But you and I can predict it before that because we can see it happening right now. When you're in the supermarket, watch if the milks and eggs are about the same. They are here. I haven't seen them go down. In fact, I've seen yogurt go up. Then has the rent come down? No, of course not. Salaries gone down? No. No one's cutting anyone's salaries. Although Sir Lloyd... Maybe his salary is going to get cut. Nothing is getting cut on salaries. So if you believe that inflation is basically flat, then this is great news for your benefits. So let's go back into how this works. Your benefits are definitely going up because your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. And that number is determined by 3 months of data, the July, the August, and the September CPI. But we don't have to really live out all 3 months. We can see it ourselves in the stores. I told you the following was going to happen, and it's happened. Gasoline has gone higher, my friends. Gasoline was 92 a week ago. I said it's not going to stay there. You watch it go up. And this is the international price of Brent crude. What happened to that price of gasoline? It was 100 in the membership newsletter last night. Not a surprise to you. Now, the price of gasoline at the pump, the U.S. domestic unleaded, has dropped, but that's not going to stay down there indefinitely. This is big news because if gasoline's going up, then certainly the flat nature of CPI will be still with us, or potentially the flat CPI will actually not be flat. It may actually go up. So this is big news for your benefits. Let's go back to the calculation of how much for your benefits. Your benefits would definitely go up. The question mark is how much. Some of you would see $5,000 more per year. Some of you would see less. Some of you would see even more. And this is you if on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. You don't have to do anything. Your lifetime stimulus, it's huge. Again, we need 2 more months of data, but we can actually see it happening across the board. The other major story that happened yesterday was not a surprise to the viewers of this channel. Why? Because yours truly, since the month of February, said it was going to happen. And what was it? It was, of course, student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt forgiveness was featured on this channel since the month of February. I exclusively told you on this channel since February, or what is that, 6 months ago, that the President of the United States was going to forgive $10,000 for individuals who make $150,000 or less, and the announcement was going to come sometime in the next few months. 2 days ago, NBC ran as an exclusive story. It wasn't exclusive because I had already told you this over the last few months. And what was the announcement? The announcement was that the President of the United States announced 2 tiers of student loan debt forgiveness. First, $10,000 for everyone, but if you're a Pell's Grant recipient, you will get $20,000 of federal student loan debt forgiven across the board. The income levels are the following. A single individual, $125,000 less annual income. Married couple, $250,000. What's very important is to understand that federal student loan debt, excuse me, I said that wrong. What's important to understand is that the forgiveness of student loan for purposes of federal law is not a federal taxable event. So for purposes of federal taxes, it is no longer a taxable event. Your state's far more complicated. And that's why you need to see a tax advisor for both federal and state. Mark Krantowitz, an education expert, says, please see an education expert, because in some states, it's still a taxable event, the forgiveness of student loan debts. In some states, it's not, and it's too hard to record on this channel. It's even too hard for him to record in a report in a news article. So please go to an advisor for that incredible news. Of course, big news on this channel was 2 new checks are now law on top, 2 categories of checks are now law on top of the 7 categories of checks and on top of the other 3. Back in the month of March, the President of the United States passed the first 3 checks featured on this channel. Since then, viewers have been getting it since then. A lot of money. It's Check A, Check B, and Check C. Let's go over these incredible checks starting right now. These incredible checks have been gotten by viewers of this channel since the month of March. If you just found this channel, it's your day to get them as well. The first 3 checks are huge. Passed by the President of the United States by executive action. These first 3 categories of checks, A, B, and C, are federal stimulus. About $100,000 in cumulative across A, B, and C. And you go get them. They're done by executive action of Joe Biden in the month of March, a series of different checks. And they've been featured on this channel ever since. Members have been getting it. Past the month of March, it's huge. A single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own it, if you don't, go get it across the board. How do you get it? You become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Go under the video and become a member and get these huge checks. That's the first 3 checks. The next 7 checks became law by Congress 2 Sundays ago. Not last Sunday, but the Sunday before that. They are checks E to K. I'm going to feature those checks in just a second. Then the latest is that today and yesterday, the other 2 new checks became very clear. They are check L and M. 2 new categories of checks, L and M. I'll go over those in a second, which brings the grand total of checks on this channel to now 12 categories of checks. Again, that's categories of checks. It's not checks themselves. It's over 100 to 200 possible checks for you to get across 12 categories. We'll go over all those incredible checks in the big second half. How do you get them? Go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, and Calcino VIP. How do you get them? You become a member. You go down the video and get that membership newsletter delivered to you. First, you go down under the video, get the subscribe and become a member. Then get the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. And one of the benefits of becoming a member is this. It's delivered to you in the membership newsletter. Again, in the membership newsletter around the 4th or 5th line. And it's the worksheets. Those incredible worksheets are huge. It's a series of pages, a PDF you can print out on your phone or take notes on a separate piece of paper. And what do we know today about the first 3 pages? First, page 1, inflation. Well, a major report released out of England says that they may suffer 18% inflation by January of next year. Citibank's reporting. Jay Powell, he's speaking at the Jackson Hole conference tomorrow. I'll go over his comments in a second, but he's hoping to get a 2% inflation in the United States by the end of the year. Will he? I'll go over those in a second. Recession. We're clearly in a recession, 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, and there's enough that manifests a recession as economy. But one economist says there is no recession. I'll have his comments in the second half, and I'll actually do a virtual debate with him and in front of you. Labor. Well, we had those labor claims today, and it was hard to follow. The prior week was revised down, and then today it was basically up, but it's still down from where it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago it was 260. We're still under 260. We're hovering that 240, 250, 250,000 range. Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is coming back in September for interest rate spikes. And this is what I've been saying and recording on this channel for weeks. I'm projecting and predicting that the Federal Reserve and those governors will, in September, October, November, and December, at least, have a 75 basis point at each of those FOMC meetings. Wall Street saying one more interest rate spike in September of 75 basis point, and that is it. I'll go over more about why that's wrong in the big second half. The next page of the worksheets is huge. Lyd Glenn got her rent paid for, I can't remember, it's a couple months. And this page, oh, that's not the next page. This page, here we go. The next page of the worksheets is huge. It's a way to keep track of your incredible checks. One viewer last Saturday got 14 months of rent. Day earlier, another viewer also got 14 months of rent. Another viewer a day before that got 12 months of utilities. And Spelly got check A and check C, and a viewer out of Florida got 80 to 100 checks. This is the page that's making the difference. Why? It's a series of rows in a table, and I'm now encouraging you to print out multiple copies of this. Why? Check A, category check A, is really one check. Category B check is really 80 to 100 possible checks, because the average viewer of this channel is now getting 14 months of items, and you may have rent or mortgage, that's one check. Then you have about 4 utility bills per month, that's about 5 checks, 5 times 18, yeah, that's what's going on. Check C is basically the same thing. The only difference with check C, you got 12 places in the membership newsletter to reach out for that. So you don't have 80 possible checks, you have 80 times 12 places. So you have a lot more opportunities to get for check C. Check E through K are one categories of checks. Check L is one check, and then check M is lots of different checks. We'll go over those checks in just a second after the commercial break. What happened with this incredible table? One viewer out of Florida filled it out but forgot to look at it. And it's important to really look at it. It's important to fill it out. Why? Because she was able to keep track of it. She got a message from the state of Florida 2 weeks ago, said, ma'am, you've been approved for check B. Wow, great news. So what is that? Mortgage assistance for her. Oh my goodness. 1 month? No, 18 months. Wow. She also applied for all her utilities. Let's say it's 4 utilities per month. 4 plus the mortgage, that's 5, 18 months times 5, that is upwards of 80 to 100 checks. Incredible. It's not unusual circumstances happening all the time. The next page of the worksheet is gasoline. Why am I laughing? Because I told you gasoline's going back up. 92 last week, international price of Brent crude. I said it's not going to stay there. It's going to go back up. Where is it today? Last night in the membership newsletter was 100. Let's see if today it's 102. Oh, wait. No, last night it was 102. Let's see if today it's 104. And then student loan debt forgiveness. Already featured. Student loan debt forgiveness will be phased out on this channel in the next day or two. And then finally, there's a table on your benefit raises, which I'm going to go over right now. The Seniors League, when looking at that CPI print from last week, August 10th, that was 8.5%, the headline number. They said with a CPI of 8.5, they're projecting your benefits to go up 10.1% lifetime to start. Do I think that's conservative? I really do. One, I said gasoline's going up. Well, obviously I was right on that one. Gasoline was 92 and now it's 102. That was really quick, and the month is not over. Number two, when you look at the component parts, milk and eggs still going up. Salary staying the same, rent staying the same. Why would we think that 8.5 is where we're staying? Now, the headline number may come down. Let's make this clear. The headline, the 8.5% may come down, may go to 7.9, but the component parts may be going up. That's more critical for purposes of calculating your benefits. I think 10.1 is conservative. In the big second half, we're going to go over more of these incredible checks. In fact, we're going to go over every check one at a time. Check A through C. Then we're going to go through E through K. And then we're going to go through L and M. I'm going to go over what you need to know about these checks. I have a personal commentary about these checks I haven't gone over in a while. But before I get to that, I want to go over one of the important things that's at issue, which is the recession. The recession. A recession is defined as 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. Is there any other definition of recession? No, there is not. Is it an economic term? Yes, it is. And today, a major economist, and he's not just, anyone, he's a Nobel Prize winner, his name is Richard Thal, said that even though we've had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, it's just, quote, funny to describe that as being a recession. First, I don't like the quote. Describing the state of people's money as funny. I looked at that and I said, it's not funny. People are losing their jobs. Some people are doing well, some people are not doing well. And so I think it is very inappropriate for a person to refer to people's financial state as funny. It's funny if you're making millions of dollars and you think that you live in a bubble. But if other people are struggling, it's not funny. And I just don't like that quote. I almost think the guy should apologize. But let's look at the remainder of his comments. I don't think anything here resembles a recession. We have record low unemployment, record high vacancies. That looks like a strong economy. The economy is growing. It's just growing slightly less fast than prices, and that means the real GDP fell a little bit, but I think it's funny to call that a recession. It's not like a recession we've ever seen in my rather long lifetime. At least some of the high prices we're observing are caused directly by the war in Ukraine or supply chain problems for China, and we hope that some of those factors are temporary. Maybe from a year now that we'll be fighting Ukraine, there'll still be a COVID, but I think that's not the case. Okay, so there's a lot in there. One, supply chain disruption was not only caused by Ukraine and China. I mean, come on already. Supply chain disruption started in January, or at least when we came out of lockdown. We did not have a war in Ukraine until March. So to say that supply chain disruption, which caused the supply chain disruption in the United States was caused by Ukraine, no, we had supply chain disruption before Ukraine started. Second, the COVID wave of China featured on this channel did not start in January. It started months later. It started in almost March and April. It started around the same time as the Putin invasion of Ukraine. So to say that the supply chain disruption that we suffered here was caused by China and Ukraine, no, it added to it. But that's completely incorrect. To say those are temporary factors, well, supply chain disruption always is temporary. It's not long felt. And then to say that maybe Ukraine and COVID in China will settle down and supply chain disruption will go away, again, that's misapplying why there's supply chain disruption. Then let's go back to its core elements. We don't have recession because we have record unemployment. Again, this is a common theme by people who want to say there's no recession. There's no recession because there's record unemployment. The unemployment rate is at a record low of 1969. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You don't, as an economist, get to say there's no recession because I'm going to pull one data out of my hat and say there's no recession. I can do the complete opposite. I can say there is a recession because the housing data is horrific. The worst housing data we've had in 20 years, since 2011. That's why we're a recession. I can also do that. Consumer confidence. I could also do that with downward guidance of corporate earnings. We've never had so many companies downward guiding for the whole rest of the year in 10 years. So you can't just pull one data point out of the hat and say there's no recession because we have the lowest unemployment rate since 1969. It doesn't work that way. You don't get the benefit of just eliminating the definition of recession on one data point. It doesn't make sense. So very esteemed guy, congratulations, all the wonderful work you do. I just think his comments are ridiculous today. And I don't think his comment referring to something that impacts people's financial livelihood as ever funny. We just don't do that on this channel. In the big second half, we are going to have some fun because we're going to go over some stimulus checks. 12 categories of checks that are paying out 100 to 200 possibilities across the board. We're going to go over all that in the big second half. Get your pen and paper out. It's a big broadcast. You can see by the running time we're running on the long side. We'll be going over that. Plus, we'll go over some of my commentary on the stimulus. Oh boy. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. It's a big broadcast. It's a big day. I'm excited you're here. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, we're just getting started. Here's the community page. I'll see you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a big second half on a beautiful August 25th from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Lifetime stimulus, the raise of your benefits, is happening. It's law. And now, more stimulus checks. 12 categories of checks. Huge checks are going to be featured in this big second half. We're going to go over each of these 12 categories of checks. It's huge, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple as well, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it. How do you do it? Step 1, go under the video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Then pounce when that newsletter comes out Monday through Friday. Go get these incredible checks. Let's go over each of these incredible checks starting right now. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? Step 1, go under the video, join the channel. Go down to where it says join the channel and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Welcome the hundreds of news members daily. I want you to become a member and get these huge checks. Next, when you get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts, you go down to where it says Check A, click the link, it goes right into the Nationwide website, and go get these incredible checks. Huge across the board. You're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check B. It is $15,000 to $80,000. It's a 4-symbol check in every U.S. state. Check A was what Pele got, and Check B is what the viewer out of Florida got. She got 80 to 100 checks from this. How do you get this check? These checks, these categories of checks. Step 1, you become a member. Go right in this video, join the channel. Welcome to all the hundreds of new members, the upgrading members, and the returning members. You want to stay a member on this channel because this channel had 3 stimulus checks just 2 weeks ago, and now we have 12 categories of 100 to 200 checks. That's how you stay here because I make the effort to find you the checks. You stay as a member. Go into this video, become a member. Then get that newsletter, go to where it says Check B, and go get it. Look at that. Check B, 80,000. Check A, 12,000. We're not done there yet because that's 100,000. We're going to go get more. We're going to go get Check C, 24,000 to 45,000. And this is even more for some viewers. It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. How do you get it? Become a member, then go into the membership newsletter. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. Check C has been gotten by viewers on this channel for 2 years. It's the residue of third stimulus. Huge sums of money. And we have so many success stories. This channel's gotten over $50 million from viewers over the last 2 years that it has been around. Here's some of the numbers for Check C that people have gotten. From Nisi all the way up to Elizabeth for 30,000, go get some Check Cs. For these numbers, like utilities, from Angela up to Nancy, and Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Snap, the same brother-in-law, is getting $250,000 over 10 years. Combinations. Nisi at $23,000 up to Nancy. Nisi was at 23. She went to 50,000. Mark was at 32,000. Then he went to 50,000. Then he went to 166. Lorraine, who celebrated her birthday yesterday, congratulations, happy birthday, Lorraine. She went from 105 to 155. What Lorraine, Nisi, Mark, Nancy, Johnny all do is the following. 1, they're in all the live chats. You gotta be, because these checks become law, and suddenly you're just shocked. Yes, in less than 24 hours, we have had now 2 new checks, L and M. You can't miss a check because it's Stimulus Stampede always on this channel. This channel has a lot of viewers, and as soon as you hear a new check, people pounce and get it. That's what we call Purple Hawk. Number 2, go into the video, subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, LALATE. This broadcasting network now comprises 3 channels, LALATE 1, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. Number 3, go under this video, join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Become a member and get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 2 Sundays ago, 7 new categories of checks became law, passed by Congress. And those incredible checks, as soon as they became law that night, they went into the membership newsletter the next day. Check E, $7,500. Check F, $4,000. Check G, 30% off. Check H, $2,000. Check I, $8,000. Check J, $8,000. Check K, $14,000. Then yesterday, 2 new checks. 2 new checks became a law yesterday. And those incredible 2 new checks are Check L, like lots, and M, like money. Check L is about $100,000, and Check M is $4,000. Check L is for individuals who want to buy a new home. About $100,000 of loan interest-free is now available in virtually every state. Go down the membership newsletter where it says Check L and M. M is full money, free money. It's about $4,000 a grant of closing costs when buying that home. So L, now about $100,000 in loan interest free to buy a new home. And M, about $4,000 in free money for closing costs when buying that home. Click the link, it goes right into the Nationwide website. It shows you your respective state. Click on your state and it sends you across the board. There you go. The incredible details left and right. So exciting across the board. How do you get these big sums of money? Join the channel, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and get these huge sums of checks. The big story, of course, Friday will be Jay Powell. The big story this week will be Jay Powell. Jay Powell at that massive conference at Jackson Hole on Friday is likely to say that we're going to continue to have interest rate spikes for this economy until we've gotten inflation to our target price of target rate of 2%. And now we're similarly going to have the same interest rate spikes that we previously used, which was 75 basis point in June and July. That's why you stay with this channel. This channel told you what was going to happen with student loan debt forgiveness in February of this year. This channel told you in February this year you're going to have a recession. We are. This channel last year in spring told you we're going to have inflation 8% was not going to come down and be pervasive. It is. And this channel no less than a week ago said the Federal Reserve is going to stay with interest rate spikes of about 75 basis point every single month for the rest of this year. And Wall Street's inability to grasp this is going to cause a stock market crash. It happened one trading day after my recording. Monday's Dow fell 650 points. The day after was down 150 points because Wall Street had not embedded the risk of more interest rate spikes past September. I said, pretty obvious. Inflation is 8.5. They need to get to 2%. Why would you think anything but what the Federal Reserve says? And with that, my final commentary today, which is stimulus. My final commentary today is about stimulus. You know, it's so important to listen and learn. And it always sort of surprises me when viewers take what I teach them and do bigger and bolder. And it also surprises me when I see the reverse. This channel a year ago was talking about telling you to get 3 to 4 months of these individual items and do all the rounds. So let's say you do January to March, go get another round for April to June. Well, viewers took it bigger and bolder. I loved it. And they suddenly started getting 8 months, then 12 months, now 14 months. 14 months of checks is now the average. It's huge. It's absolutely incredible. So you took what I taught you and made it bigger and bolder. You're winning. You're doing a great job, Purple Hawks. Pick it up. Keep on doing it. On the other side of the spectrum, there's a small, maybe 2 persons per day, 3 persons per day that post in the live chat questions as members that I think to myself, I just don't understand what's going on. The comments that I see from 2 to 3 members a day, and it's very, very small. I mean, the vast majority of the comments are incredible success stories, but 2 to 3 comments per day are, where do I apply for checks? Come on. The video says 9,000 times in the video. Go down in the membership newsletter, apply for check A. Go down in the membership newsletter, apply for A to C. E to K. Go down the membership newsletter, go learn the details about L&M. Go down the membership newsletter. How many times do I have to say it? I have a graphic. I have an image. And the image appears over and over again. There's now close to, between the 3 channels, 20 videos a day airing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with me literally repeating the same sentence over and over again. And then someone says, where do I get them? I don't know what's resonating in that person's mind. I have a graphic. I'm saying it. I'm saying it in a video 3 or 4 times a day. 20 videos a day, 24 hours a day. And then someone, 2 to 3 people a day say, where is it? Do you have the sound off when you're watching the video? Do you have the image? You're not watching the video. You're cooking pasta and just sort of not watching the video. It just surprises me. Now, I would normally not bring this up on camera, but the reason why I'm bringing it up on camera is that the money's not going to be around forever, and you can't be playing games. I got to tell you, you're playing games if you're not seeing this graphic. If you're not seeing this graphic, if you're not hearing me say newsletter, 9,000 times per day, you're playing games here. You're literally not listening. You're literally not listening. You're not looking. You're walking around. You have the video playing in the background. There's something wrong because I can't say it any more than I'm saying it. I'm saying newsletter 9,000 times a day. And again, this is 2 to 3 people out of hundreds of thousands of people that watch this channel per day. But I care about every single one of you. So that's why I'm being very hard on the love right now, tough on the love right now. You can't be playing games anymore. This is now going to September. We've had these checks since March. And if you're a member and you're literally repeating things like where, you can't be playing games. The next thing, and this one is really basic, is I say as equally as often as I say newsletter, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know. Did people grow up not knowing there's multiple time zones in the United States? Maybe they did. I don't know. Have people never known that there's other time zones in the United States? This would be news to me. I just assumed people that understood there's multiple time zones in the United States. Do you know the people in Europe, they're not on our time zone? Do you know the people in New York are not on the same time zone as Los Angeles? I just assume people knew this. But let's look at again at the graphic and let's listen to what I say. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now notice I say 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel, the 3 channels, probably close to 300 times a day. And yet there's always, and we laugh about it because it's a hysterical comment. And it's always nice, but there's always someone who says, what time? 7 o'clock. And there's always someone on the East Coast that says, hi, it's now 7 o'clock where I am. I haven't got to it. Where are you? New York. It's 7 o'clock in New York. I haven't got to it. That's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's Pacific Standard Time. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You can't be making mistakes like this. You can't be making mistakes like this. It is sort of funny, but it's also not funny. Because guess what? You can't be missing to get your money. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You know what? You can open that phone. You can say, hi, what time is it Pacific Standard Time right now? The phone will answer you. The phone will actually answer you. So if you don't know how to convert from Central Standard Time, it's 2 hours after Pacific. Eastern Standard Time, it's 3 hours after Pacific. If you don't know how to convert, the phone will do it for you. Just ask the phone. Hi, phone. What time? Yeah, the phone will do it for you. It is what it is, but you can't be playing around with this. Imagine you're missing checks like this, because you can't figure out what time zone it is. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but you can't be playing games like this anymore. You can't be doing basic things wrong much longer. The money is available here right now. That's what's important for you to do. Finally, let's understand the importance of understanding where the money is in the newsletter. Some people saying the volunteers on the community page, the volunteers on the community page. The volunteers on the community page do not apply for checks for you. They have never applied for checks for you. I've had this issue come up over the years where people said, I want the volunteers to go give me unemployment. No, they're not going to get you unemployment. I want the volunteers to go give me a grant for EIDL. No, they're not going to get you a grant. They'll answer your questions about it. It comes up every few months and it's coming up again. The volunteers do not go and get you money. You get yourself the money. They'll help you find things. They'll answer your questions. They'll help you find the newsletter. They'll help you navigate through things, but they do not get you money. Come on, let's do this. Let's get it together. You can do it. For all the people that do incredible jobs out here that have gone from 3 months of rent to 14 months of rent, that have gone from 8 checks to now 20 or 40 and 80 checks, you're doing a great job. These 2 or 3 people a day that don't even know what time zone it is, come on, let's get it together. I love you to death. You can do this. Gotta focus on the video. You gotta focus on the video. Turn on the volume, turn it all the way up. Watch the video, stare at the video. Don't be answering the phone and playing bocce ball while the video airs. Don't be trying to pair lumpshire shorts while the video is airing. You need to watch the video and focus really carefully. Because if you don't, you're not getting the checks because you didn't understand what time zone it is. Come on, let's do it. You can do it. I have full faith in you. It's very, very basic, and you can do this. Welcome to all the incredible new members. And if you're just finding this channel, God bless you. It's a big week. And if you've not seen the new LA3 and LA2, please jump over to them. They are awaiting your return. Go into this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Here is LA3 and LA2.